Alright, and welcome back everybody to our Pokemon Fire Red playthrough. Just to update you guys, I did do a little bit off camera, not much. I just used a rare candy on these two guys, and I went ahead and caught us an Oddish. Because between last episode and this episode, I decided, at least for now, some grass coverage would be pretty good, especially since we're about to take out Misty. Not that Oddish is really gonna be a key role in beating Misty, but I think it will be nice to have, especially because I was thinking back on, like how I was with the Elite Four and everything, and so that will also kind of help with Lorelei. Of course, it can be a backup for like the Onyxes and everything, and then it's just backup for like Rhydon, stuff like that. So all around, it seems like a good mon to have. Vileplume's pretty good, and of course we can also get some added effects with like all the spores and everything, which can be nice. So at least for now we're gonna throw on Oddish, but it's probably the mon that's gonna be in this 6th slot. So if I were to get, like a suggestion for a team change or anything, that would probably be the first one to go. Just because it's kind of just a temporary spot for some coverage, especially since like if we got a mon that could learn it, we could just go ahead and throw the I think it's Giga Drain onto a Pokemon whenever we get it from Erica, I think her name is, the grass type gym leader. So like if we got a Haunt or something, although we can't evolve it in this game, so there's also that to look into. But yeah, I just decided to grab Oddish whilst I was just going about my day. Okay. But yeah, so that's about all that happened between this episode and last episode. Besides the rare candies, like I said, we should be able to get through Misty pretty easily with our current team setup, and then we'll be on towards Surge. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get there this episode or not, but I'm hoping to at least get somewhere inside the SSN. Of course, we have a couple trainers between now and then, so there's that to deal with. Yes, and now it begins, all the powders that Oddish hears or learns. Yeah, so I'm just gonna train up Oddish on these gym leaders because I caught it at a decent level. I was thinking about making a montage to go ahead and train it up to where we were, but I figured that would be good enough to just throw it at the people in there that give increased experience. And let me check real quick. It seems like, oh, that's not what I meant to do. It seems like we're on like slow tech. Oh yeah, we are actually like on the slowest text possible. So yeah, that's interesting to be a base setting. And also, whenever I pulled up my save there, I know I said like almost 4 hours or whatever. It's because on this emulator I have the speed up button that I used in order to get back to where I was, which you guys might have. I don't know. I don't remember if I saved at the end of the last one, but yeah, that's why it's all janky. Because like even though it only took me like maybe an hour to get back to where I was for last episode, the amount of time in game was like 4 hours, so that's why that was a little bit weird. And I'll probably use speed ups for like grinding montages because I probably won't be commentating over grinding montages. So I'll just speed it up for me, and then I'll also speed it up for you guys, obviously, and probably just put some music over it if we need to do something like that. But yeah, with that out of the way, I think we should be able to take on Misty here now. I guess I'll just slap a... no, not save. I'm really wanting to save today for some reason. I'll just go ahead and slap a potion on Oddish and see what it does with Starmie. And then I might have to switch it out if it's not good enough, because it will be like 18, I think. Oh, the other thing, like I almost did it before I was on camera, but I decided I might as well just save it till I was on camera. I'm probably gonna evolve Nidorino into Nidoking this episode, because it learns Thrash at 23, I believe it was, and definitely want that on Nidoking. So I'll just go ahead and evolve it this episode before we get past that threshold. And I don't think any of the other Nidorino's moves were worthwhile, so go ahead and grab Thrash, and most of the other moves that it will use, we'll probably have to teach it by TM or something like that. And let's just see what this Oddish can do against Starmie. Oh, I said Starmie earlier too. I meant Staryu. Let's just see what it does against it. Okay, not as much as I want, and it also knows Psychic, so that won't be good. So let's see. We'll chuck Pidgeotto out there, and I'll probably hold off the speed button during recordings. I don't know. I guess if I get any feedback saying that people want it faster, I might. But I know generally a lot of people don't like speed ups just all the way throughout the video. Okay. Yeah, this gym is pretty notorious for you know, showing you whether your team's really ready or not yet. It's like make or break. Unless you pick Bulbasaur in the beginning, because Bulbasaur kind of just will shred the first two gyms like all on its own. But if you pick any of the other two, you kind of makes or breaks your levels to see if you need to go any higher. Obviously, with as you can see, we're using Bite, so I guess you could throw it out. But I'm more referring to if you're trying to level up other mons and stray away from your starter. But we still got some levels on Oddish, and that will be our second gym badge, so I'll go ahead and put that up on the layout. And we got Water Pulse. That's not very useful for us right now, unless I want to teach it to Squirtle, but I usually don't. But I might do that. Just because it is stronger. Might as well. Might as well do things differently than I normally do. And Nidorino can learn Water Pulse as well for some reason. Yeah, I'll put it over Bubble, even though we do have the option of slowing, but we do get confusion chance on this, so that'll be pretty nice. And I might check. Okay, no, he can't learn. I'm wanting to get a rock move on Nidoking. Oh, while we're here, I'll go ahead and throw the Moonstone at Nidorino, get that Nidoking, so I can put that up on the layout as well. But yeah, I'm quite excited for finally going through with this playthrough. And last time I really don't know what, cause I just like I never really thought about it, but after did I heal up all my Pokemon? Yeah. But like after I made those like couple other episodes, I I did another playthrough of this with like Venusaur or Charizard, and I was just like thinking to myself the other day, I was like, I was recording episodes, but then I decided, no, I don't want to record episodes, I just want to play it on my own, even though I could have been recording, you know, all of those. Like, I could have just spent that time doing the run-through with you guys, but, I don't know, it's just weird sometimes with motivations and everything. I guess I just felt it was too difficult to make 10-minute episodes at the time, which, I mean, you know, having to go to, you know, college every day physically, I guess, kind of does, put a different kind of stress than attending it at home. Because it paces it out differently for you, to whereas, like, if you're doing it at home, if you're doing it at home, you can literally just get on top of everything really quick and then have the rest of the week to just, you know, do whatever you need to do. So that's probably one larger reason why that happened. Because I do get very, like, I don't know, I'm more of an anxious person whenever it comes to timing, so, like, I'll always leave very early for, like, anything that I have that is, that's scheduled, and then I'll be there, like, anywhere from half an hour to an hour early, and, yeah, I've gotten a lot of flack from it from different people, a couple of my friends and everything. They're like, why are you always here so early? But I don't know, it's just one of those things. Just can't get out of my head that it's like you have to be there before it is time, otherwise you are late. And I don't know if it's in this game, in these games. I need a ram mail. Do you want to trade it for? No. I guess if we wanted, Nidoqueen and Nidoking, we could do that. I know in the remakes of these games, there's like a crap load of items in there. There probably is in this game too, but you probably have to have the item finder or whatever it is. I'll just kind of snake through here real quick. Might come and battle those guys here in a bit for our level ups, but right now I'm just kind of looking to get up here to this next place. I always think this is a double battle, but it's not. Yeah, I'll just keep Oddish out to train it up. I always kind of wished it was a double battle too. Just make it quicker. Instead of having to do 2 fights back to back right before you get into the city. Gets a little annoying sometimes. But yeah, and I think today we put up the other episode of the Soul Link. So be sure to check that out as well. I know we did another recording session of it today as well, so that was quite enjoyable. And as always, like I always say on that, to go check out his Twitch as well if you want to check out some of Chuck's stuff. He streams like well, for here it's like night, like after midnight or like right before midnight, somewhere in that time frame. But whenever it, but he lives in Australia, so I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends on who's watching. Maybe I have some of his audience but I would assume most of my audience would be over here in the US, so it's going to be a little bit later on his streams and everything. And kind of wish I could stream as well, but like I was saying in the last episode, I just don't really have the internet for internet capacity to do things like that. But yeah, we'll just keep moving along in our playthrough. Apparently the game isn't too fond of us picking up the grass type with all these flying types coming at us. And next thing we do, I'm definitely thinking about some sort of challenge. I know in like my own time, currently I'm doing a Team Rocket challenge, which is a bit more of like a chill playthrough. Like it doesn't have like any of the Nuzlocke type things where if a Pokemon dies and then it's dead, which I know those can be a little bit more intriguing for viewers, so we could also do one of those. But the Team Rocket challenge is pretty interesting to me. Like you still get your starter, which we could also just eliminate that rule and say like after I get the first Pokemon that, you know, would make sense in the challenge, then I had to use that. But you can use your starter, and then like basically you can only use the type of Pokemon like the Team Rocket Grunts would have. So and you can do it in any generation. So like in this generation, it would be like you could use Rattata, and then like if we were in Ruby and Sapphire, you could use like Zigzagoon, basically the Rattata of whatever region you're in. And then basically you can use like bug types, dark types, you know, stuff like that you would see. Obviously it doesn't have to be like the exact Pokemon that are Team Rocket. So like the one I'm doing is in Alpha Sapphire. So like I have like a Surskit in there because it's like part bug, right? So I mean you can be more strict or more lenient as you see fit. I just decided to basically put the type coverages on there. And then another part of the challenge was kind of interesting, is like, so say if I did in this game, I would try and fight the least amount of Team Rocket Grunts as possible, to where but to where I still can complete the game, obviously. And then that's why I decided to do an Alpha Sapphire, because on the other end of the coin, whenever you are... Sorry, I'm trying to think how many I needed. But whenever you're in a different region, you have to eliminate like every grunt possible to like, as in to like put Team Rocket at the top of the leaderboard in that region, essentially. And I think there's also an added one that you have to fight every trainer on every route. So like if we were doing it right now, obviously I would have to go back and make sure I defeat all of those guys. But you know, since we're doing just a regular playthrough, we don't really have to worry about it. I'm just gonna head into the SSN because we still got just enough time to go in here and probably do a few battles. And as you probably already saw, I picked up the Versus Seeker in that Poke Center, and that's where you get that. I know there are some people that might struggle with finding items that are just like, oh, you talk to this one guy in this like one building. You know, I've always found items that are like that are kind of annoying. It's like, oh, where do I get this really important item for gameplay? Oh, it's just some random person that you talk to, because you know, after quite a few playthroughs of this game, you're not sitting here talking to everybody, so like it would make sense that a new player would find that, because you know you're probably going around talking to people, seeing what all you can get. But after you played a bit, you're kind of just going around trading Pokemon and trying to beat the game, so you're not really interested in finding out new things. Oh, well, that's just the luck, isn't it? I should probably just switch out. I'm doing no damage now. Come back, Chuck. Split the experience 3 ways now. can't wait till we get a ground type move on Chuck. But Earthquake will definitely be a while, so. Yeah, but this is a point in the game where basically after you do this SSN, the game can split off like a lot of different ways. Because once you get cut, obviously you can do Lieutenant Surge because you have to use cut to get to Lieutenant Surge, but you can also just like go all the way back and go through the cave that you need Flash to go through, and you can just split off. Because I'm pretty sure in like my first run through, like which was when I was younger, I like completely skipped Lieutenant Surge and he was like one of the last few gym leaders I needed. Like I'm pretty sure I didn't beat him until I was like trying to use whatever HM that he allows you to use, and I was like, wait, why can't I use this? And I had to look it up, and it was like, yeah, you gotta beat Lieutenant Surge, which is the 3rd gym leader, and he's like, that's not the 3rd gym leader, that's not who I fought. And it's just because whenever I got the cut, I was like, oh, I can go cut that tree that I saw up by Cerulean City. So yeah, this is the point in the game where it diverges a lot, and you can kind of fight people in whatever order. I'm gonna try and stick to the main orders. So like obviously next we're doing Lieutenant Surge, and then after that we'll be going over and doing the grass, which is what you do right after this. And then we'll be doing Koga, stuff like that. Also, this is the place where probably most people's obsession with checking things in Pokemon ever started. You get a Hyper Potion in a trash can, and I'm pretty sure there's like not a single other item in a trash can for the rest of this game. And so yeah, that's a little bit of an origin story, I suppose, if you never found that, or never really into Pokemon and you're just watching for whatever reason. Yeah, that's why a lot of people will check, you know, the dumpsters and whatnot as they're doing a playthrough. But yeah, this is a pretty decent place to train up right before the next gym, since they're back to back. And it's also quite the spot to train up your grass Pokemon, because a lot of these people will have water types, at least down here on this bottom deck, because most of them are sailors. As you saw like up there, they're more regular trainers, so like the first one had 2 Growlithe, but down here you can train up your grass types that you just gotta pick up by Misty. Yeah, but if anybody that is interested in this, just let me know in the comments whether or not you prefer with or without speed up, because if nobody really cares, then I might just speed up so we can get through this a little bit faster. But I'm fine either way, having just having this time to play through a nostalgic game and kind of just talk over it, talk about it, anything that might be on my mind as well. It's just something that's always been kind of interesting, and it's kind of an outlet right now since everybody's cooped up, and I hope everybody is staying safe out there. I don't know if anybody else watches like Game Grumps. They're calling it the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, and you gotta stay away from the tickets. Always some good jokes over there. It's one of my personal favorited YouTubers, I guess you say. They're like one of the people I go around in rings watching. Yeah, and I don't know. I guess if anybody had any interest in the discussion. I thought it was quite interesting whenever I heard that YouTube didn't really want people talking about, you know, such a big thing in everybody's lives currently. So I guess if anybody wanted to comment about that, strike up a little, ooh, that's dangerous, a little conversation about it. Well, I wish I had that kind of luck. I always hit like the bare minimum, essentially, on those kind of moves. I think I can survive another one of those, especially if it doesn't do a 5 to. Oh, well, if there's crits, that's another story. Now there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we got pretty lucky that time. And get Oddish up here, and we should be able to get a grass type pretty soon as well, or not a grass type. A grass stone. I don't know if you pick one up, but you can get one the same place we're gonna pick up EV and get a thunderstorm around the same time. So we should be able to get Vileplume somewhat soon, and then I think Oddish evolves somewhere in the 20s. But oh, I quite like this music too. It's kind of relaxing. It's a little bit different to hear it on a nice headset rather than just out of the Game Boy. Although I generally play most of these on mute. I don't know why, but like most Pokemon games, I always just play on mute because after you hear the song a couple times, and that's about it. Other than the town ones, like each town has their own song. They really just pack this place full of trainers. It might have been cool to see something else, like maybe like an entire different area, because I'm pretty sure basically the only reason they threw this in right here is since there's a gym right here and there's literally one road in between the last city and this city, so you gotta train up a bit. So they just like pack all these trainers like right here in this one confined spot. And I guess real quick before we wrap up, I don't know, I might finish this level, or by level I mean the level of the boat, and then show you where a couple other items are that are very useful. And in this game at least, exceedingly rare, because for some reason they decided, which I don't know, this has always been a weird concept to me. They didn't add berries in the game, but there are still berries in the game. So like I don't know, I find it strange that they added berries, but there's not like places for berries to grow anywhere in the game. You just find them in like these hidden locations. Okay, I'm about to switch out so we can kill this horsey that's on 1 HP. Oh, I'm immediately back into the smoke screens. Hopefully this will hit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We might try one other thing, which a lot of PokeTubers and such do, which this is just like an engagement thing, so I don't know how effective it will be on my videos, but I'll pose a question for today's video that you can comment on or just ponder about. Leave a comment or just try and decide, because it is a rather hard question. What is your favorite Pokemon? And just let me know. I always find it interesting to see the diversity and the similarities everyone's answers. I know a lot of people's is like either Riolu or Lucario, which I always find interesting because I don't know. It's not like it is like a decent mon, but you never really see it in like big highlights of like is it competitive, like, which I don't really watch competitive too often, but whenever I do, I never see Lucario up there. So it's like, I don't know, a lot of people's favorite is Lucario. Maybe it's just because it is, like, at least to me, is pretty well designed and everything, so it's interesting, and might also just be that it's a doggo. That could also be a reason, but yeah, just let me know favorite Pokemon, or maybe like a top 3 if you can't decide. It'd be interesting to see everybody's answers there. And look at that. By the end of the episode, we got Oddish basically on par with everybody else, even though we literally had to train him the entire episode to get there. Also, I might just pose this as well. Let me know if you want me to if you want to see me clear out the rest of this boat, because I could honestly just use it as like a grinding montage and then come back whenever I'm about to fight Gary, because there's quite a few battles left, and I don't know, sometimes it's not as interesting to just watch back-to-back fights like this. Plus the fact it just kind of burns through the time, so let me know on that as well, because like I said, since it's just, you know, chill, laid back, fill time for me, you know, I'm fine with whatever, but as for the sake of your enjoyment, just let me know which way you prefer, whether you like all the battles, or if I should just kind of speed through them. Oh, and we got another evolution. Got quite a bit of editing to do then. Gotta add Oddish, add the evolution, add Nidoking's evolution. We got another gym badge. Quite the amount of progress going on recently. There we go. Good old Gloom. Let's look at like special attack on this. Chlorophyll, okay, it's decent. And we're looking at 44 special. Oh, and 41 attack. That's quite good. Hopefully we learn like a Mega Drain or something soon. I'll probably. No, I don't think Gloom or anything learns Growth, so I can't do like my basic setup. My basic setup for like a grass type, usually it's the starters, because most of them learn Growth, so you get Leech Seed Growth and Sleep Powder, and you just stall, fully buff, and then just wipe the entire team. That's what I do if I ever do a playthrough of this with like Bulbasaur. I always just do that for Lorelei, because you can usually set up on the Dugong. Just immediately put it to sleep, Leech Seed it in case it wakes up and attacks you, and then just keep growthing to raise your special attack, and then just like Razor Leaf it or whatever move you happen to have. Yeah, I think that is gonna about wrap up this episode. We're about at that time, so I'll just heal up real quick here, and yeah, I don't really have an intro still, or an outro still, but be sure to just check out our Soul Link, me and Chuck Finley's Soul Link, that's currently going on. I got a playlist of it made so you can watch from the beginning if this is the first episode you happen to see on my channel. And I hope everyone's doing good, so I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.